Heffernan Insurance Brokers, offering business insurance, personal home and auto, employee benefits, retirement and wealth management. Heffernan, because you're different.
And today I'm here with Leticia, and Leticia manages our Latino practice. Hi, Leticia, how are you?
I'm great, thank you. How are you?
Good.
Good.
So, Leticia, whenever you talk about the retail super grocery store chains, can you tell me a little bit about some of the business challenges that are in the industry?
I would have to say probably first and foremost would be some of the safety concerns relating to the recently publicized and ongoing food contamination, with many grocers moving large amounts of perishable goods as well as importing many foods. There's a high susceptibility for them to have the food contamination exposure, and as a result having a decrease in consumer confidence.
And are there any of those items that are unique to the Latino industry?
I would say definitely the importing aspect of it would be one of the significant components of that. And they're also taking on different types of services, such as like tortilla manufacturing, so they're doing their own within their own operation there, so there's always the exposure for that. They're also taking on restaurants within the grocery stores. Many of the Latino-owned grocery stores are making it to be a full-service restaurant. You can buy food to go. They're doing the catering. And so if they're doing the food there, it's definitely much like a restaurant exposure from that standpoint. So the spoilage, E. coli, contamination, all that kind of stuff, there's a high susceptibility for that.
Can you tell me a little bit about some of the trends in the industry and some of the things that people should be aware of that might drive their exposure a little bit differently?
I'd have to say the fact that they are trying to become, and I think they're doing a very good job at becoming, an all-in-one stop shop by offering services such as check cashing and, like I said, the catering, the restaurants, the tortilla manufacturing, even to the extent of many of the stores are selling their own auto insurance policies for bad drivers or those kinds of things. So by them being that kind of stuff, their operations are very unique in the sense that they can't just purchase a general liability policy for a grocery store, because the operations and the services that they're offering are different. And so they need to be cautious that they're not just buying an off-the-shelf policy that may not be covering them for the potential exposure for the type of unique services that they're offering.
Can you tell me a little bit about some of the unique business insurance and risk solutions that clients should be thinking about?
I'd have to say probably crime coverage would be first and foremost. There's a lot of theft, unfortunately, especially since a lot of the Hispanic grocery stores tend to be in some urban communities. Times are tough and people are going into the stores oftentimes stealing, so they have to make sure they've got adequate coverage for that. Going into the contamination exposure, there's always going to be the food spoilage aspect of it. They don't have very significant margins for profitability. They're running about 25% or so of profitability, and so they don't have the capability to take on the risk of having a huge loss or a huge exposure and not have the coverage to be able to step in and help them out.
And so one of the things that you would look at the insurance coverages purchased. Also look at some of the policy language, and look at then also some of the premiums to help the business owner.
Obviously, money, bottom line, it isn't always about price. You want to make sure that they're adequately covered. And I think sometimes people do try and do that off-the-shelf policy, thinking that, I'm saving money here, save money now, spend money later. And so at the same time, we want to make sure that they're adequately covered at a competitive price. And because of Heffernan's market clout, we often have the leverage to be able to negotiate on their behalf.
Thank you so much. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.